Hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to House of Many Doors. Where last episode, well, quite a few things happened. We made a statue out of nothing, maimed an angel, and flirted with a mushroom man who questioned... Is that the only time we could do that? Yeah, it was. Oh. That's unfortunate. Oh well. These things happen. We flirted with them. Unfortunately, we decided to decline the option of taking Dream Salve in order to actually have sex. But, well, oh well. Apparently that's a one-time thing. I should probably actually treat those opportunities with more, like, I can only do this the one time kind of thing. Because I believe I flirted with somebody else and rejected them and I can't do it anymore. Or it might have just been Bradley Baggs who rejected me because he was married and he's a bit of a prude. Though, frankly, well, we're not going to make this whole Kinetopede, just a weird, very, very weird and creepy, like, you have to have sex with the captain in order to keep going on this place. Yeah, no, perhaps not. Perhaps not. Although, Genevieve is quite charming. Now, this is what we actually had to get done today. Look for the disgraced knight Ezekiel. As soon as you ask around about Sir Ezekiel, the citizenry go quiet. Finally, someone glances to either side with obvious fear before directing you to Dreamer's Den. The Dreamer's Den is so devoted to an atmosphere of luxurious mystique that it borders on the absurd. The air is fogged with incense. The chaste loungers are draped in the finest red silk. You keep having to drag aside jangling bead curtains in order to traverse more than 3 feet in any direction. You sit at the bar where a faceless man is serving drinks. Though he lacks features, he has remarkable acne covering the blank skin where his face should be. I suspect that this is Ezekiel. Make small talk and keep an eye on the bar's patrons, or maybe he's just some sort of abomination. You keep a careful eye on the clientele, but most seem unremarkable. An obese man looking to lose himself in dreams, a nervous young woman keen to see new colors. You slip from the bar stool and ask after Ezekiel, but none seem to have heard of him. When you return to the bar, the bartender turns his blank face towards you. Heard you asking about Ezekiel, he gurgles. The spotty, empty face ripples and churns. No one calls me that in a long time. I'm just Zeke now. Who's you? Oh. I was right. What happened to your face? My master took my face, says Zeke, busying himself with the universal bartender pastime of scrubbing a dirty glass with a dirtier cloth. I owe him a lot of money, a lot. He took my face as collateral while I work it off. If you wanted to help me, you could pay off my debt, or persuade the tenpenny man to let me go free. How much is your debt? 7,000. Okay, no, that's not happening. 7,000 guineas, says Zeke. I work and work, but the interests pile up. One day I'll earn my face back. One day. Where can I find your master? Because that other thing isn't going to happen anytime soon. He has a compound in the center of the city, says Zeke, but you're better off not get involved, stranger. The tenpenny is a dangerous man, I should know. Well, let's head straight to the tenpenny compound. This is a terrible idea. You arrange to meet the tenpenny man at a crowded little cafe opposite the porcelain spire, out in public where everyone can see you. He sits across the table and orders a black coffee. He's dressed in a neat 3-piece suit with sparkling cufflinks. He dips his contorted candle-shaped head in greeting. The wax drips and sizzles on the tablecloth. I understand you have interest in my boy Zeke. His voice is clipped, precise. He snaps his finger, and one of his bodyguards slams something heavy and cylindrical on the table in front of you. Ah. It's a glass jar of what smells like formaldehyde, with what looks at first like a scrap of pale cloth floating in it. With a start, you realize that it's a face. Zeke is one of my most effective employees, says the tenpenny man, but I'm willing to end his employment, forgive his debt, and return his face for a price. Yeah, why did you do... I'm actually kind of wondering about how, but why did you do this to him? Do you have any idea how useful a poet knight can be, even a disgraced one? The tenpenny man drums his fingers on the lid of the jar. Zeke's been of great value to me over the years. He can decapitate a man at 20 paces with a single well-composed stanza. Taking his face was a complex bit of occultism, and not one I would go through for any ordinary employee. but I wanted to be sure I could hang on to Zeke. And what price do you want from me? I know your reputation, Brian Bright, says the tenpenny man. You go to strange places and bring back wondrous things. I'm in need of such things, books to be exact. I'm determined to learn as much as I can of the occult art, and I've outgrown conventional texts. Fair enough. 3 ancient grimoires need to be found. I'll be trying. You make notes of your dreams in Phobetor Quinn. Tall amphibians stalking through the fog, old men with bat-like faces, a whispering river that runs from your eye to your navel. None of it makes a lick of sense. Useless, your dreams leave nothing but questions and mild psychological discomfort. These things happen. Chat with Waif real quick. And before we go to stupefaction baths, which we're definitely going back to just because I do need to delve this place. Dreams beckon you. The city shimmers like a bubble. You can't be sure you're awake. The streets shift like the sea. The city is quieter than usual and less substantial. The faces of the crowd are turned away or blurred. Juice drips sweet down your chin. You're filled with bizarre certainty you've stolen an apple, and the farmer is chasing you with a scythe. And then you wake up, sheened in sweat. You were so sure you'd left the Kinetopede. Intriguing. The stupefaction baths. A labyrinth of steam and drug smoke. You may not return unaltered. Yes, before you enter the baths, you must understand you're not here to relax, says the handsome young man in the entrance lobby. Below this building are miles of steam-filled tunnels that have never been mapped. Most come back, but not all. He takes your money with a smile. Enlightenment awaits. You remove your clothes, shrug yourself into a silk robe, and let the hot steam swallow you. And deeper. And deeper. And yet still deeper. What? Your tongue bursts free of your mouth and skulls down into your navel. You sing. The gods sing with you. This is the dream time. Immortality awaits. You stumble upon a corpse propped up in the water. How long was she lost here before she died? Oh. The steam hollows you out and lives inside you. The dream of El Aberthat, of mud-caked archaeologists scraping through centuries of sediment. One of them uncovers something huge and squat, an engine the size of a house, sitting in a web of ancient cables. The dream skips in time, as dreams do. A crane is lifting the engine in from its pit. The prince will reward us, says one of the archaeologists. You skip forward again. Ink-splattered servants are dragging the same battered ancient engine through a tunnel of bookshelves. Then the library is consumed by fire. Burnt scraps flutter. You find yourself staring at a flaming orb, ever so briefly, before your retinas are burned black. A place no one can look. A clue to the city of glass, you say? Intriguing. We've been here before, but I don't believe we've seen some of these events. You walk through a garden of glittering trees. You walk through a charnel corridor, your feet skidding on blood. You walk past 8 portraits of children. You walk under the gaze of a mountain. Steam billows out your silk robes and carries you along like an infant. Even as you slip in and out of consciousness, you're almost there. The walls are lined with distorting mirrors. Your own face twists and stretches around you. Your heart is a stone die rattling in your chest. You're falling. Land. No one's ever reached me before, grunts a voice. It has a note of grudging admiration. You find yourself floating in a warm, salty pool at the center of a magnificent palatial chamber. There are marble columns, gold-framed mirrors, a grand piano in the corner. At the bottom of the pool is a garish mosaic depicting a graphic sex act. A nude old man sits on a reclining chair at the pool's edge, sipping a frosted cocktail. He's muscular and rather handsome, despite his age, with a shaggy beard and long, gray hair. Who are you? I'm Hummingbird, the old man shrugs himself into robe. Prophet, hermit, amateur comedian. He helps you out of the pool. Haven't had a visitor in, 40 years or so? Drink? You glance up. There's a trap door in the ceiling above the pool. Must have fallen through from the baths. Yeah, I'll drink a beer with the guy. Been a while. Hummingbird sits with you by the pool for a long while, sipping his cocktail and mixing you one. He tells some of the filthiest jokes you've ever heard. Why do you live down here? I can only tolerate people in very small doses, says Hummingbird matter-of-factly, but they're always seeking me out for wisdom or some bullshit, so I built the baths to keep them out. Had to stay in Phobetor Quinn, see? He frowns. You know the god trapped in the porcelain spire? I put him there. Doubt he'll ever get out, but I wanted to stay and make sure. I mean... tempting. But, no, I've slept around quite enough. Well, not slept around quite enough, if you get my meaning. Yeah, why did you trap a god, by the way? Justice, he shrugs. Or revenge, some called it. He betrayed my trust, ruined everything. No need to sound so shocked, says Hummingbird, chuckling. I was back in my less fragmented days. Who are you really? Told you, I'm Hummingbird. Well, do you have any wisdom to offer me? You're promised enlightenment, gods damn it. Never trust a god, says Hummingbird. Follow your dreams, and try to have a sense of humor. Oh, I don't know, he snorts. Nothing I can say will give you enlightenment. If your entire outlook on life can be changed by a few sentences, you're probably a dimwit. You know what? I like this old guy. Let's try to seduce him. Maybe it's the steam getting into your head, but he doesn't look half bad for his age. You fetch another drink and another, then you slip into the water and splash each other, laughing. You drift closer to Hummingbird, touching his knee, stroking his cheek. As soon as he realizes your intentions, Hummingbird wastes no time. His embrace is fierce and blissful. His breath smells of raspberries. With a look of purest lust, he undresses you and sweeps you to his bedroom. A four-poster bed, a mirror on the ceiling, a scented candle. You lose yourselves in each other for hours. Finally, you're both too exhausted to continue. Wait, says Hummingbird, raising a hand. Can I come with you? I can pay my way. I've been cooped up here far too long. I want to travel again. He rummages through a nearby treasure chest, pulling out silver candlesticks and golden coins. Got some stuff here, probably worth a few bob, eh? Let me become your passenger for a while. What do you say? I mean, it's a bit awkward. I mean, we just kind of, we're with each other, and now you want to... I mean, sure, why not? Aspect of the trickster. What is that? Although I did need one of those undreamt treasures, I believe. He grins. Thank you kindly, I'll show you the way, but first, he hands you a heap of glittering treasures, emerald necklaces, tiaras, coins, my payment. Raising a hand to his mouth, he makes a call like birdsong. A ladder drops from the ceiling above. Back up to the baths, he says, after you. You clamber up, back to Phobetor Quinn. Huh. I'm actually quite curious about that. Aspect of the trickster. Story, shadow, shard, a fragment of someone slippery. Huh. So like a piece of a trickster god? Interesting. Oh, right. One does forget. What else do we have here, though? Most importantly, do we have... No. Oh, they did need the dream salve anyway, so... My god, that was a stupid decision I just made. Oh well, needed it anyway, because I wanted to, chat with our friend. I think south is where I want to go. I know I didn't discuss the path we went on, or planned to go on, but, essentially it's going... Being surprised that this didn't disappear, then just curving around over to Founder's Fire. More than likely. Hopefully. In theory, we shall see. Hi! You find Zhang Basho holding your dream salve up to the light. I never understood why so many human cities ban the use of dream salve, says Zhang, stroking its rubbery whiskers. Its manufacture is harmless, it's not especially addictive, and it's extremely powerful in the right hands. An experienced user can lose themselves. I mean, that would be a good reason, I suppose. Zhang nods, a curiously human gesture from Mysina. This is true, but even as a doctor, I wouldn't stop a patient from taking dream salve unless I felt they had a propensity to... wander. Have you ever danced through dreams, Brian Bright? Zhang asks. I mean, if we're being honest, no, never. I've been taking dream salve since I was a sporling, says Zhang. For someone as inexperienced as you, I would always recommend a guide. Someone to walk with you on the twilight sands. I can provide that if you wish. Yes, please. Sounds like a fun experience. Splendid, says Zhang. I'm of the opinion that everyone should explore a dream when the opportunity arises. He dabs a splodge of the dream salve on your finger. Rub beneath your eyelids, he says, and then close your eyes. We'll need to hold hands. A tide of violet rushes in at the corners of your mind and drags you down into a heavy unconsciousness deeper than sleep. When you open your eyes again, you're in dream. Look around. Welcome to your dream, says Zhang. Looking around, you see a sighing memory of love and bunched bed sheets. But as your partner removes your undergarments, your skin peels away with them. Interesting. Oh. Hello. Let's look at our options, though. A swirling, drizzling fog, but it parts to reveal a long-lost love, as beautiful as only a memory can be. Dim figures sinking in mud, but then you realize the figures are each holding a cocktail and blithely discussing foreign policy. An exam, the clock is ticking as loud as a drum, and you haven't studied at all. But this one, you're in a sun-dappled orchard. A terrible figure is stalking towards you. Zhang Basho grabs your shoulder, gives you a polite but firm shaking. Don't forget, it tells you, our only defense against a dream is to remember what it is. Zhang Basho clicks his fingers and a wooden door materializes in the air. I think we should move on to my dream. He steps through and vanishes. One lingering look back, please. Your dream has changed. You've ended up somewhere terrible. A storming nightmare land, dark and cold. Something mountain-sized is watching you, a gargantuan ossified lump of oozing redness. A single eye opens. Its vastness is appalling. Rush through Zhang's door. Slam it shut behind you. You step out into endless nothingness, feet windmilling on thin air, but you don't fall. When you steady yourself, you realize that you're in the city of bridges, standing above the abyss. Oh, says Zhang Basho tiredly. It's this dream again. Beneath the lowest of the bridge streets dangle green and brown stalactites, dripping lumps of fungus that citizens of Bridge call underhangs. The underhangs are where the mice and I live, unable to afford housing in the competitive market above. One of the largest underhangs, closest to you, is on fire. Rush to help, if we can. I appreciate your concern, but there's nothing you can do, says Zhang Basho. This all happened a long time ago. The underhang is burning, and mice and us silhouetted in flame clamber desperately to the top. Standing on the bridge above are a gang of men and women in all black clothes, dark masks over their faces, strange steel pipes in their hands. As the surviving mice and I reach the edge of the bridge above, steel-toed boots stamp on their fingers and kick them back into the abyss. If they continue to cling on, the steel pipes are raised, and jets of flame blast down. Mice and I don't scream. The smoke mixes with thick clouds of spores. Well, for mental health, probably best to turn away. The dream skips, a day passing in an instant. The underhang is gone and concerned citizens are inspecting the damage. A tiny mycena, a sporling, crawls over the bridge edge and lies there, half dead. Someone picks it up and carries it away. That was me, says Zhang Basho. I forgot this day for the longest time. My parents never told me. I only found out about it through wandering the dreams. The city of bridges begins to crumble into the abyss, architecture sloughing and spinning into nothing. Who did this? Zhang Basho. According to my research, no one was ever arrested. The underhangs can be dangerous, their roots crack the stone. If they get too heavy, they can even threaten to drag the bridge down into the abyss. Sometimes a mob forms. Put on masks, solve the problem. Interesting. Who are your parents? After my underhang was burned, I was taken in by a human couple, says Zhang. They're activists. Suppose it helped teach me that all humans aren't evil. I think you meant for me to see this? That's so horrible. I mean, that's not horrible, but... like... it's one of these top 3 options I should go with, because this, fuck you. This, just go die in a fire. Just, no. Absolutely not. Ugh. That's so horrible, Zhang. Like, how do you dance around that? Please, call me Zhang Basho, says the Mycena. Mycenae don't have first or last names, and we don't like sobriquets. We just have a name. The Mycenae suffer like this all across the house, says Jean Bachot. I want you to help me put a stop to it. I can do this alone, but I feel strongly that this project must be a partnership between a Mycenae and a human. How do you propose to put a stop to this single-handed? I'm a surgeon, yes, but also a psychiatrist, says Jean Bachot. I spent years studying mass movements throughout history. The time is right for Mycenae to unite, to aggressively secure their rights. They just need a subtle nudge. It spreads out its hands. The city of Bridges has crumbled entirely now, leaving you suspended in black nothing. And like stagehands behind the scenes, we can give them that nudge. We can march through 1,000 Mycenae dreams, singing of revolution. Will this be a peaceful movement? Jean Bachot avoids your gaze. The revolution's actions will be beyond our control. We will serve as a catalyst, nothing more. If it helps, I have confidence that no Mycenae would hurt anyone unnecessarily. And given what they've suffered, I'm in. Jean Bachot claps you on the back. I knew you were a special kind of human, it says. The darkness of the abyss dissolves around you. You awaken the Kinetopede, eyes still sticky and sore. Long live the revolution, says Jean, pulling a sheaf of notes from its bookshelf. Here I've identified the main vectors of Mycenae oppression. You must visit the city of Bridges, of course, but also the city of Keys. Then there's Bog Shadow and Frogbit Smut down in the Entomarch, and the Mycenae Free State up in the Chimeric Empire. Thank God we can save them for that. Make sure we have enough dream salve, adds Zhang. So basically I'm going to need enough dream salve to go through each and every one of those areas, so I think it's 4 altogether. Interesting. Well, something we'll worry about long term, I suppose. Let's see, how many places? The 2 villages, the 2 cities, and the Free State. So, 5 altogether. That's 1,000 guineas to start this revolution. Not to mention the costs of fuel and such. It's doable. It's very, very doable. But we'll keep that as a side project, if you don't mind me saying so. Disquieting incident, nothing to worry about, though. Everything's fine. Why would you think that they aren't fine? Yes. Let's go take Genevieve to her support group and find this new, room. She said what it was, but I can't remember. Chaga, I think it was? Or was something else. Doesn't matter, I suppose. In the grand scheme of things, does not matter. 2 rooms down and then left as far as we can go. Oh. Can you get me a grimoire? Because I need 4 of them. Codex. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take it. It's fine. Yep. Keep going. Hello, friend. Well, I was kind of hoping to, be able to... Well, there we are. You issue some particularly inventive threats over the radio and also draw attention to the size of your guns. A long silence, a hiss of static, a dour swear word from the collectors, and then the airship turns ponderously to leave. Good riddance. I was hoping it was one of the other ones that you can just instantly kill with a vigilance test. Although, frankly, I should get my vigilance in... You know what? Well. Oh, Dream Terrors, right. Yeah. Deal with that. Worry about that later. Discuss your plans real quick. I would flirt with him, but it's, that would be part of a discussion. The Scars of Shang. Oh. The city is corrupted. Streets and buildings alike are gouged with the deep, oozing wounds. It's a shocking sight to see the parting of the imbecile stone, exposing human-like cavities of flesh and gore. More wounds open by the day, but some heal, leaving pale lines or puckered indents. The scars of Shang earned its name with blood. Well, I have several questions. Huh. Explore the city. Try not to ruin your boots. Scarred veterans beg on the monument steps. They'll recognize your accent at once if you speak to them, and your very existence will be an insult. They fought your kind in the 1802 Glass Reclamation, although they'd call it the Scythian Invasion. They vividly remember the foul weapons that the city deployed against them, occult weapons, designed only to torture and deform. I mean, we'll try. A test of spirit. Win them over. It's worth a try. Although they hate you at first on principle, you manage to gradually win them over. You criticize the governor as vociferously as they do, and although it would be patronizing to offer them an apology, you adopt a general air of contrition. They unburden themselves, telling you in hushed whispers of the foul tactics which their commanders resorted to. Unimaginable horrors were summoned from distant worlds and unleashed on enemy troops. When the war ended, some escaped, and some were deliberately released in Scythian territory. Well, listen in silence, then slip away. The beggars have fallen quiet. Out of curiosity. Oh. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. Surprise guest golem launcher, a favorite of the Principate military. Why fight when you can send a combat golem to do it for you? High damage, high accuracy creates a golem combatant to fight for you. One use only per battle, but still. Also, I need that fuel, thank you. Siphoned directly from some military vehicle, no doubt. Well, minor detail that. Genevieve. She slipped away to her support group's meeting. She takes off down the street, waving off a fruit merchant's platter and stepping daintily over a rivulet of blood. Follow her at a distance. You're curious to see what a support group of 4 vampires looks like. You're not sure if she's noticed you following, but she's certainly making it difficult. She casts glances over her shoulder, slips down side alleys, and moves like smoke between shadows. You don't lose her for a second. Finally, she reaches her destination, the cracked and scarred husk of a forgettable warehouse, abandoned since the onset of city cancer. With a last sweeping stare, she slips inside. Press your ear to the door, I'm curious. You can only catch occasional snatches of conversations. Now welcome Genevieve Call, awoken sister of the... and call this meeting of the Abstemi into motion. Discuss other matters first. More of this foul, corrupted city blood. It really is very hard to hear through the thick oak door. Perhaps you could ease it open ever so slightly. Ease open the door. You just hope these hinges are well maintained. This could end disastrously. You ease the door open just a crack. The hinges are silent, thank gods. The voices are discussing political matters, how best to strike down new anti-vampire legislation in the City of Knives, which candidate to back in the next Ghoul Watch election, who owes favors to whom, who has blackmail on whom, and who has become more trouble alive than dead. You don't hear Genevieve's voice or even mention of her name until finally, and before we conclude this meeting, we have another mission for you, Genevieve. Stay just to hear this last tidbit. There's another intemperate awoken on the loose, you hear. His name is Quentin Dearly, your typical mad and desperate intemperate. Ambushing travelers east of the city of Bridges, drinking enough blood to fill a lake. I'm a little rusty these days, but I'm sure I can tidy up this nuisance, says Genevieve. Then this meeting of the Abstemi is concluded. And you hear chairs scraping back. They'll be out any second. Dash back to the Kinetopede. Can you make it in time? You left it too long. Although you race back as fast as you can, you find Genevieve striding along beside you, loping like a wolf. You draw to a halt. How much did you hear? She asks. Her eyes are flint. Why? This seems like a bad choice. Everything. She slams her fist against a nearby wall in rage. It cracks and starts oozing blood. If they find out, you'll be killed and then I'll be punished. You put both of us in grave danger with that stunt. No one can know about this, she snaps. They must fulfill their mission with utmost competence, or questions will be asked. Now let's get back to the Kinetopede before we're seen. She steps forward and her foot lands straight in a puddle of blood. Shit. Well, I made a mistake there. So, next episode, I'm gonna try to make up for that mistake. And we will... Well, we'll probably just head over to Hextall, delve into the Founder, and, head on over to the City of Bridges, or that area at the very least. And, well, we'll see what happens there. For now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly, and I will see you all soon. Oh dear.